Today I'm going to talk to you about water. Our body is in very high percentage formed out of water, including our brains. And it's very important to supply our body with good quality water because it has a lot of elements, a lot of roles in our body, such as cleansing, helping weight loss, hydrating all tissues, producing energy. It helps a lot of aspects in our body. So it's very important. I come from a family with kidney disease. My grandfather, rest in peace, he died because of kidney disease, and there's a trail in my family of sensitivity. So it was very important for me to drink a quality water. I used to drink tap water. I'm coming from a city up in the mountains where the tap water has a delicious taste, and it was really nice. But that didn't stop my body forming kidney stones. And even if there are other aspects in the body that facilitate the formation of the kidney stones, the quality of water is vital. And we know that. We all know that. So what's wrong with the tap water these days? Well, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't kill you, because if it would kill you, then it wouldn't be available. But we're looking at the combination of the ingredients that could be detrimental to our health on the long term. And that is where the challenge is. You see, the tap water we drink today is not the tap water our ancestors were drinking for a lot of reasons, because the level of pollution, because of a lot of things. We have to look into these details to appreciate what we're actually drinking. And for example, forever chemicals, they're not actually tested in the tap water, but they do have a very high impact on our health. And there's still a lot of research to be done about the forever chemicals. So the tap water is the best source of water, but not with the impurities that comes in. And those elements that are added for our safety, for example, chlorine, even if up to a particular level is good for us because it prevents obviously diseases, it's the exposure of it in high quantities, as if you're drinking water. And also is the other chemicals and how they react when you boil it that seem to be causing a bit of a problem. So other ingredients in the tap water, when you boil them, they actually become more concentrated because their boiling temperature is less than the actual liquid water boiling temperature. So when you cook a stew or you brew a brew, a lot of the chemical ingredients in the water actually become more concentrated. Then there's the other side of the coin, which is, you can boil water with the purpose of burning out bacteria, but it seems that you have to boil it quite long time. So one of the best ways for us to improve the quality of water is to use filters. Even if it has a carbon filter, we're going to learn that it's a completely different carbon filter, and the way it filters the water is totally different. And in terms of performance, ESpring stands out massively in comparison to anything else in the market, and that's why it's number one in the world. ESpring has a lot of certifications by independent bodies for a lot of aspects. You see, it's very important to say you have a certification for the fact that I'm a female, but what kind of female, what's the color of my hair, and how do I actually talk, and what do I actually do will be subject to different certifications. Well, it's the same with the quality of our product. So just because a product has a class of certification, it doesn't mean it's as good as other that has all sorts of certifications, so it's been checked thoroughly. Right, let me get into the actual product presentation. So ESpring is a very small machine. Your initial layout is a bit higher because you buy the whole kit, so the price for the purchase of the system includes quite a few elements. It's the results of like 20 years of research. So it's a really tested and product that's been used throughout the years. It has a brain. I'll show you the brain in a minute. And this is the brain. It's wireless, so that the brain and the actual electrical side, which gets plugged in, this is the plug. You just plug it in. It has a small back here. So electricity and water don't mix, so it's a wireless technology, and it was among the first ones that has a wireless technology. then you're looking at the side where you put the carbon filter. Right, so I'm gonna open this, and this is the replacement carbon filter. This is just the head. I have the carbon filter here, and I'm going to show to you how it actually works. So you've got the basin, yeah. So this one can be kept on the counter, under the counter. You plug it in the tab, like I said. And if you live on rent, do not worry, because you can use the system with the cables. And the system with the cables means that these get plugged in the back of these, yeah, one each. And then the hose goes on your existing tap, and you have this beautiful head, beautiful machine with a small pin here, yeah. So these two hoses go back here, and you just apply this to the existing tap, screw it in. If you need an adapter, then you've got more tools here. And then when you want to drink filter water, you just pull this, and the water filters through here, and that's going to be your filtered water. Or your normal water will come through here, and it has a little bit of a filter here, so it cleans impurities even from the normal water. This one can be opened and cleaned every once in a while, so it's a 2-in-1. Anyway, this is for those who live on rent. Those who prefer a more posh version, there's the auxiliary tap. That's the one I have. So the water comes inside here, and then you're going to have the carbon filter, and then it goes out through a cable to this. Right, let's talk about the carbon filter, right? So please see how small it is. It's really, really small. And you've got an electrical head here that will show you how the water flows. It will tell you what it needs to be changed. So everything is done for you. You just need to turn on the water, use it, and when you need a replacement cartridge, it will tell you about it. So let's talk about the replacement cartridge. It's a carbon filter, but it's not any carbon filter. It's activated and it's pressed. It's made out of coconut shells, burnt coconut shells, and it's a 3-in-1. You've got a non-woven mesh, as you can see here, which is really thick, and it keeps out all the dust and all the big elements. Then the water goes through this mesh into the carbon filter. The carbon, like I said, is 0.2 microns pressed, so that's really, really tiny. Imagine that a strain of hair has 75 microns. A bacteria body has from 0.3 to 0.5. So bacteria get stopped in this carbon filter, but much more than that. It actually reduces 140 contaminants that could be potentially damaging to us. Sorry, 160 contaminants, out of which 145 could be potentially dangerous to us. Then once it goes through this, it has like a cylinder on the inside that's made out of stainless steel. And that pushes the water back up into the UV lamp that kills everything that's not good for us. 99.99% of bacteria they're destroyed. And then it pushes it out, right? So it's a matter of pressing from the bottom up when the water is filtrated. And why is that important? Because the water doesn't sit in any areas that could cause a contamination. Right, so this is the carbon filter. So why do I actually love this filter? It's very cute, it's very small, it's very efficient. Technology is totally different. So Brita will produce some lower levels of particular elements, but for example, they don't claim to clean the forever chemicals from the water, which ESpring does, and do research about forever chemicals, what they are and how they're present in the tap water. And there's so many more certifications and so many more other contaminants that this product is keeping us away from. But most importantly is also the fact that you replace this carbon filter like one time for every 5,000 liters, or one time per year, whichever comes first. And the reason for that is because the activated carbon filter, look at it like a parking space. So the more bacteria it filters, the more parking spaces it starts to park up. get parked up, so the car park can become full. So it's a fantastic long-term saving, this product. And if I appreciate the fact that not everyone has the initial layout, but you can use forms of paying in installments, um, and a couple of other financing options that you've got if you do want to purchase it. And it's only the initial layout that can be a bit of an effort, but the rest, the replacements, is a cracking deal. Is a product I definitely recommend. And do remember that if you do try it out for 30 days, and if you don't think it's worth the money, then you can get your full refund. So it's a product that I would definitely encourage you to try.